So how much of the current National Executive Committee should be retained by way of individuals? Because I know that it's collective leadership.
That's not a choice.
But it's about contribution of individuals to this collective.
It's not a
should
choice.
Gwede Mantashe, for example,
it's not a choice of individuals, it's a choice of branches. And what I said, I've been going to the regions. I give them one message, I say to them, please do help the ANC by not electing a person purely on the basis of age, on the basis of where he comes from, or on the basis of which faction that person is from. Because if you elect a leadership on that basis, you are contributing in killing it. To discuss candidates, what attributes do they bring to the collective? Because we use a collective, but in reality is that we are individuals who go to that collective and we must be assessed, what attribute do I bring? Do I make a contribution? Or do I elect a leader of a faction and give that leader of a faction an army of fellow travelers? If you do that, you are going to kill the ANC. But if you assess the performance and the capacity of individuals, you try your best to take certain attributes to that collective, you're going to do better.
So, in terms of the changes that might come in, should there be a change at the position of president?
You are making me make a choice now, which is unhealthy.
You have made a choice. I believe you have. I'm asking you to share it with me.
Which is unhealthy. I should not do that. We have a president. He has taken one term, and ideally, no president of the Union must take one term. President of the Union must take 2 terms and fulfill the task given to them. But there are people who aspire to be presidents. We should not just say they are sick and no, they're not sick, they want to be presidents. They're given a chance to go to the conference and there will be elections.
Yeah. What about you though? Do you still have the energy and the ideas to take on a leadership role within the national officials? I saw someone suggesting somewhere that the national officials should actually give a full account of themselves to say, the reason I believe I deserve to continue to lead, or I would heed the call from branches when they say I must continue to lead, is I did X, Y, and Z. What have you done as
Can I tell you something? The contribution you make in the organization, one of the things that is important is the depth of understanding of the organization itself. You see? Because if you have narrow understanding of the organization, you can come with fresh ideas and collapse the entity. But understanding the organization, having seen it, going through various phases helps. That's why I'm not a believer of youth takeover. I believe in generational mix, that you allow young people to be fused in, but there should be an experienced cohort that provide leadership and guidance. And that means the younger generation that comes into the leadership learns from the experience and knowledge. And therefore you create continuity.
Sure. Last point then that I want to canvass with you, Minister Mantashe. In all these conversations around leadership, segments of South African society, and I'm trying to be very careful with words to not speak for everyone, segments of South African society say that the ANC doesn't seem to have learned from the recent experiences, the findings of the Zondo Commission of Inquiry that exposed, the malfeasance and the wrongdoing by some of your own members and leaders. And in that, you are seeing some names there that you think to yourself, how is this person even being considered for leadership? Now, specifically to you, the finding against you was that on further investigation, there might be a prima facie case that might be found. So it was, from the commission, it was suggested that there should be a further investigation. You were going to challenge that in court. I believe you went in August. Did you?
Yes, I did.
At what stage are we with that process?
I don't know. I don't control courts.
Sure.
Okay, I make a...
But
let me tell you, because if you stayed at that end on what the commission found about me, I don't talk of others.
Yeah.
it found three things. The first one is that our terms of reference don't cover the case of this person. This person was not in government. That's the first finding.
Yeah.
The second finding is that we have tested, though, all the cases. We couldn't find any prima facie case of corruption against this man. That makes a very strange recommendation that maybe with further investigation it may be found.
Yeah.
That is throwing a stone in the darkness, and that's what I'm challenging.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is one of the things that we should not do, because you look at the Zondo Commission, only the ANC as a political party went to the Zondo Commission, no other party. And it was correct of the ANC to do so, because it is a governing party. It must look into itself and try to correct mistakes it has committed. And therefore it was correct to go to the Zondo Commission. But the issue is that once we go through the Zondo Commission, everybody else who didn't go there is making a lot of noise. Yeah, ANC kwacha kwacema, ANC kwacha kwacema. Now, if you allow that, you are going to create a situation of an anti-ANC environment. Instead of taking advantage of having gone to the Zondo Commission, you have discovered mistakes, you must correct them, you must rebuild the ANC and renew it. Now, ANC has learned, and that's why the ANC, one of the biggest fights that we're having in the ANC is the step-aside rule. That step-aside rule is very simple. And when people say it's abused, I want them to say to me, there is somebody who is in court who has not been asked to step aside. Okay. Or they must say there is a person who is not in court but has been asked to step aside. You will not find that. Everybody will just shout at the ANC without testing what is actually happening. If you are in court, you are charged, you step aside. It's a voluntary act. If you don't step aside, they charge you in terms of the rules of the ANC 25.70. They charge you. But if you are not charged and people say, step aside, Legiana said, I must step aside for the sake of the ANC. And I had to tell him that, listen, that is a messiah approach. You see. It's not practical in real life, because it means anybody who's accused of anything must step aside and you can collapse the organization unintentionally. If I'm charged, I will step aside. Anybody of the ANC who is charged must step aside. And that's where we are. So we'll go to the conference in December. A leadership will be elected, and that leadership must continue building.
How politically precarious has the situation around the president made the situation of the ANC? Former President Thabo Mbeki addressed this point about a week or two ago at that gathering, and I saw various reactions. But what I seemed to understand was him saying that depending on what the committee right now that is looking at whether or not the president has a prima facie case for impeachment to answer to, depending on what they find, and he was saying, was former President Mbeki, we should prepare for the possibility that they might come back and say, he actually has a case to answer. What are the implications for us as the ANC going forward? So how politically precarious has Phala made the situation?
One of the things that you must always look at, a factionalized organization is a danger to itself. Okay? Because you find out that it is ANC members who make a big noise about this and that and that and that. And I remember ANC sometimes think that they are police, they are judges, they are prison warders, they are everything in the open platforms and attack each other. And to me, I'm arguing that one, leaders of the ANC, one of them must be careful about. You never attack your successor, you never attack your predecessor. Okay? Because if you do that, you're going to create an avenue, an entrance for enemies of the organization to attack the organization. Because a former president of the ANC has all the right and authority to go to the current president and advise him. So therefore, to me, I'm not encouraging a situation where former president attack a sitting president.
In fairness, though, and I know that it's been said that the word attack has been used. In fairness, my reading of that comment was him speaking to the ANC and ANC branches and members to say, open up your eyes and ready yourself for any possibility.
That's right.
Don't be caught off guard.
There is a sitting president who must provide that message to the branches. If you can allow every living president to talk to the branches, we'll create a chaos in the organization. That's my argument. I don't say he's wrong, I don't say he's right, I'm saying leaders must be cautious of attacking their predecessors or their successors.
Yeah.
They have the authority to advise them. I worked with Ace Makashule. I never took a platform and attacked him. Even when he was arrested, I have not taken a platform and attacked Ace Makashule because I had the opportunity and a right to talk to him and advise him quietly.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never attacked Khalima Mtland, who is my predecessor. Even in areas where I think these were weaknesses, it's my issue. If I want to learn something, I go to him, and he helps me. So that's how it should work in the organization. Number two, when there's an investigation, allow that investigation to take its course, and when there's an outcome, we take a decision on the basis of the outcome.
All right.
It's the most correct and scientific way.
I think you have answered all of my questions.
Okay.
I've got to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Minister Gwede Mantashe.